Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give all the honor and praise and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is the Plaintables, Delaware camp. All right, coming in with another day of preaching the downfall of this kingdom. All right, so first, we can start off with 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, and then we'll get Ezekiel 9 and 4.
Gone. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. It says, "Least saying should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices."
God, so we're not ignorant of his devices. All right, and Esau, he's known as the biggest hypocrite. All right, because you got this man. All right, the MAGA pastors, guys like that are bringing scriptures from the Old Testament, pushing the standard of the law. All right, to not to deal with anybody else but solely Jake. All right, and that's hypocrisy. All right, because here we are, we're living in a society that's completely against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. A society that was made to really be impossible to keep the whole law, completely 100% perfect. But yet, you got this guy saying that that's what they should use, in order to justify, putting the sword to Jake. All right, read that again.
Gone. It says 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. "These sayings should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices."
And yet, what a question you should ask him then is the law done away with? All right, because that's the number one thing, that these different anti-Christians like to bring out. All right, that the law is completely done away with. All right, which we know, that's completely false. All right, it's the penalty of the law. We're under grace. All right, but that doesn't mean you can go out and willingly sin and do all sorts of abomination. All right, you got these Edomite devils. All right, who do what Jake does on a mass scale. All right, these different Edomite devils has taught Jake everything they know. All right, when you go into the drug dealing, all right, you got the pharmaceutical companies. All right, when you go into Jake murdering other Jakes, Esau has done that on a mass scale to Jakes, the Native Americans, to his own people. All right, that's what this man does. Jake stealing Jordans. Okay, well, you stole whole lands, people's heritages. All right, people's identities. All right, this is the devil we're talking about here, man. All right, so get Ezekiel 9 and 4.
It says Ezekiel 9 and 4, "And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof."
Yeah, and they only do that towards Jake. All right, we don't only do that to our own people. We do it to you Edomites as well. All right, because you Edomites is the main problem, with this kingdom. All right, that's why this kingdom is going downhill. All right, and not to mention, these different Edomite pastors. All right, they try to make it seem like they're so righteous. All right, when it come to Jake. All right, but they don't hold that standard to their own people. All right, the scriptures go into he still has a judgment. All right, we already know that 2/3 of Jake they have to get cut off. All right, but you devils think you could just get away scot-free or erase the history of what you've done. All right, over all the years you got Trump, taking out the certain historical images, going into slavery from these different national parks and things like that. All right, you trying to hide the fact that you're the devil. All right, you trying to hide the fact that you wicked. That you're the wicked that the Bible talks about, man. All right, and we're sighing and crying for the abominations thereof. We're not just sighing and crying over, what Jake do. All right, we live in this a society that Transformers can just walk around. All right, we live in a society that you got crab shacks, all right, selling your abomination. All right, you could commit adultery with no consequences. Okay, you know it's illegal for you to have multiple wives, but then you can marry the same sex. All right, this is the type of society we live in, man, and we're vexed. And we're tired of seeing it. We're tired of seeing it from Jake. All right, we're tired of being oppressed by you devils. All right, in the wickedly, man. All right, and we've come, and the Lord has allowed us to understand who we are. All right, and understand that this man Esau, that he's the devil that the Bible talks about, man. You got something?
Yeah, come on. So it says Isaiah chapter 59 and 15. Yeah, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him, that there is no judgment.
Yeah, and we're the prey. All right, you got from people from all angles. All right, Edomites, going against us for speaking out the truth. Jake going against us for speaking out the truth because Jake want to continue to be wicked. All right. The scriptures go into, the men of the Lord, all right, those who follow Yahweh Shai, we're going to be hated by the world, all right? We ain't going to be the top, religion, so to speak, all right? I think it was Apostle Tahar who mentioned if Christianity, was the truth, then we be in the kingdom already, all right? That's not the case. All right, and ever since brothers have came out and been preaching the downfall of this kingdom, with the prophecies have been going crazy, man. All right, and that's our main focus. All right, see these different Edomite pastors, MAGA pastors, right? They're preaching to a people that want America to continue. All right, but when you go into it, the men of the Lord, we gonna prophesy that this place is gonna be destroyed. All right, the Lord, he don't want this place to continue. This place is destined for destruction. All right, this place ain't destined to keep on going. This place ain't destined to, make America great again, so to speak. All right, this place has a time limit. All right, and soon, this place is gonna be completely destroyed. All right, we're not hastening in building a life here. All right, building businesses and things like that. All right, we ready for the Lord to come, man. We hastening in salvation, man. We hastening in this place being destroyed. We hastening into coming for the kingdom. All right, because that's truly when everything will be in order, man. All right, the things that we worry about in this hell, this captivity that we in, we ain't gonna worry about that in the kingdom because everything will be in order, man. All right, and we'll be perfect. All right.
Yep, got a precept.
Go ahead.
It says, John chapter 17 and 14, I have given them thy word, and the world hath hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world.
Yeah, that's it. And these people hate Yahweh Shai. All right. The scriptures go into that. The people have hated me before they hated you, right? But us being followers of Yahweh Shai, doing our best to be like Yahweh Shai, all right, we're gonna go through the same similar struggles that Yahweh Shai dealt. All right, not to the same extent, of course. All right, but as being his followers, we're gonna go through similar struggles, those fiery trials, tribulations that Yahweh Shai had to go through, man. All right. And we out here week in and week out, man, based on the faith that we have, all right, that we got the truth, all right, and we're seeing the prophecies unfold, all right, we're seeing us being hated by the people, being slandered, all right, we're seeing everything come to place that hey, we got it, man, we got the truth, all right, read that again.
It said John chapter 17 and 14. It says, I've given them thy word, and the world hath hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world.
That's it, This is the word. All right? Jake will find out they are Israelite. All that they want is the honey. All right, you an Israelite. You know, the Esau. You know, he's the devil. All right, but you know when you go into your day-to-day life, all right, you know it gets bitter. You know, bitterness. All right, you know, divisions, being cut off from certain friends, certain family. All right, you know, being hated, being slandered against. All right, being mocked. All right, you know, whatever we got to go through as men of the Lord. All right, you know, then there's people don't want to go through it, or people just want to indulge in folly, right? Being the spirit of mirth, not going to the prophecies, okay? Not going into the MOTB, all right? Not going into the destruction of this kingdom, all right? Having their doctrine being pandered to the world, all right? Hey, we supposed to bring out this truth and spare not, all right? 100% raw, no direct, no sugarcoating. No, this is how it is. All right, and if you don't like it, then you could get to stepping. You're just not a part of the elect. That's it. All right, we're not with all that the BS that these other camps do. All right, it's either you follow the scriptures or you don't. You know, we don't got time to go back and forth and debate and all this, that, and the third. We're the prophets. We're the teachers. All right, we teach you. All right, you got nothing to teach us. All right, all that Christianity, Islam, Muslim, Roman, we already that's all. We already proved that to be false. Okay, we already proved that we have the understanding. All right. So if you don't believe, then you just don't believe. The Lord has to open you to the understanding. That's it. All right.
God got a precept?
What?
Yeah. So I got two.
Yeah,
It says, Isaiah chapter 58:1, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
That's it. And that's what we do, lifting up our voice as a trumpet. All right, telling our people why we're in the position that we're in. All right, telling our people what we have to do in order to, you know, Lord's will, receive the salvation. Okay, you know, we're not talking shit behind a comment board with no works, no videos. All right, we're out here week in and week out. All right, and warning our people. All right, go ahead.
It says, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
That's it. Their transgression, their sins. All right, stop committing adultery. All right, stop eating unclean beasts. All right, stop being a mole. All right, come back to the Lord. All right, you know, you got to abstain from certain things. Okay, you know, this is all and ultimately have faith in the Lord. All right, stop worshiping Cesare Borgia. All right, the Lord's true name, the Most High's name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai, man. Ain't no Jesus Christ. All right,
Yep.
go ahead.
It says, Ecclesiastes chapter 16:25, I will show forth doctrine and weight, and declare His knowledge exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go
You
ahead.
know, and ultimately that's what we do. You know, we're professing or what the doctrine and weight, and it says, and declare His knowledge exactly. So, you know, we don't hold back. We don't spare. Again, you know, we bring out everything 100% in its entirety.
Yep. Is that it for that?
Yeah, kinda,
Real
that's
quick, bring out Ezekiel 35 and 1, and go all the way down to like 5 or 6.
I say Ezekiel chapter 35:1. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir.
Mount Seir goes into the Edomites. All right, Mount Seir also can spiritually represent Babylon, America. Okay, because that's who rules America and who rules the world. The Edomites. All right, which is the so-called white man. All right, go ahead.
It says, Son of man, so Ezekiel chapter 35:2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh.
Prophesy against it. All right, not keep prophesying for America to keep on going. All right, we're prophesying against this place. All right, this place is wicked as all hell. All right, We're looking for the new kingdom. We're looking for the kingdom of heaven, where the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord will be established. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, Ezekiel 35:3, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. It says, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
Yeah, make thee most desolate. That's the judgment for the Edomites. All right? You know, you got these different MAGA pastors saying, you know, the best thing that happened to our people was when the slave ships went onto the coast. All right, that was the best thing that happened to our people. And these are the same exact devils that our people come and say they can be saved. They're able to obtain salvation somehow. All right, go ahead.
It says, Ezekiel 35:4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh.
Go ahead.
It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Come on, man. You think that's talking about the tiny tops, man? No, that ain't talking about them over there, man, in our land. All right, that ain't talking about them. All right, they're the most protected people on the face of the earth right now. They're the ones that's ruling. All right, they're the ones that the Edomites protect the most. You can't even put a juice box emoji on TikTok. All right, because you know, it'll go against them. All right, that's talking about our people, man. All right, the perpetual hatred. All right, ever since Jacob and Esau, you know, Esau, he's still mad about the birthright that he gave away. All right, for a morsel of meat. All right, he's still mad about that. Go ahead, read that again, bro.
Gone. And I can get that word too for perpetual.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, Ezekiel chapter 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Yeah, get that word.
Gone. So the Hebrew word is ayawalam for perpetual, meaning long duration, antiquity. It says everlasting.
That's it.
Yeah, it says old, continuous existence, indefinite, unending future, eternity.
There you go.
Yeah, so what, you know, Esau has had an eternal hatred for the Israelites. You know, everlasting hatred.
That's genetically built into the Edomites to hate our people. All right? And these same, you know, because you wonder too when you look on these different social media platforms, X, you know, because Esau he hides his, you know, disdain for the Israelites somewhat. All right, but you know, you go on these different social media platforms, YouTube, X, this, that, and the third, and they're all outright with it. You know, they show the disdain for you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, go ahead.
Ezekiel 35:6, it says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
That's it. You know, bloodthirsty Edomites. All right, they haven't stopped. All right, and that's why this man has to get judged, because even though, you know, we're placed in this position, you know, because we went off, right, because we broke the covenant, you know, with the Lord. All right, you know, this Edomite has forwarded the affliction, and has gone above and beyond, man. All right, in putting our people into captivity. All right, and this man thinks that, you know, he's not going to be recompensed for that. All right, we're not looking for reparations in the form of your fiat currency. All right, we're looking for reparations in the form of your people going into captivity. All right, it's your turn for your people to be in captivity, be in hardcore bondage. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because what, as the scriptures say, you know, or pretty much what, for everything that Esau has done unto our people, you know, he's going to have to pay for it. So, you know, you can't give us money to pay for, you know, all the iniquity or pretty much, you know, the wickedness that you done unto our people. You can't.
That's going straight back to you, making you richer anyway. You know, Jake has no form of financial literacy anyway, so that money ain't really gonna do anything. All right, this money is not backed by anything. That's why the economy is about to crash, man. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says 2 Ezra chapter 15 and 22. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth.
That's it. And that's all that this man has done. All right, shed bloodshed. All right, since the time of with the Gadites, with the Southern Kingdom. All right, Jake in the Caribbean, in the West Indies, in the Americas. All right, it ain't just the Southern Kingdom. All right, it's the Northern Kingdom as well. All right, you've done this on a mass scale, and you're trying to justify it with your people was uncivilized. You would be in grass huts if it wasn't for us. Things of that nature, man. And you just the devil. All right, deceiver. All right, and then what about Cesare Borgia? All right, what about that lie? All right, that you hang up in every church. All right, how about that? All right, the devil. All right, you bring out the sign, man. All right, this man right here, the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right, and we stay away from that name, Jesus Christ, because first and foremost, that's not the name of the Lord. And we don't teach in that name, because that name has been used to enslave our people, to blaspheme the Lord. All right, Jesus Christ is a false name. All right, you shouldn't be using it. You shouldn't be using it to preach the Bible. All right, you should stay away from even Christ. Period. All right, you got to teach in the name of the Lord, man, and His only begotten Son. All right, the Acts 4 and 12 goes into, it's only one name under heaven that we shall be saved by. All right, roughly paraphrasing. All right, and not to mention the scriptures goes into the physical, all right, depiction of the Lord. All right, this has nothing to do with how the Lord looked like. All right, this is an Edomite devil. Okay,
Come on.
put this back. All right.
Come on, so to continue reading Ezekiel 35.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, Ezekiel chapter 35 and 7, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth.
That's it.
Yeah. And of course, that was a common Hebrew saying, him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Meaning literally everybody. This prophecy links up with Obadiah chapter 1 and 18. Basically going into Esau being blotted out forever. Being burned up. Basically paraphrasing. The house of Jacob shall burn them by fire. Basically paraphrasing. Let me go ahead and get it to not butcher it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says Obadiah chapter 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a flint. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh hath spoken it. Exactly. So, as the scripture says, there's not going to be any Edomites remaining.
That's it.
All Edomites will be blotted out. Once we're in the kingdom, Esau has to serve his hardcore bondage and slavery for 1,000 years. Then after that, the hardcore bondage of us, because it's not like Esau's just gonna get taken out right away.
Yep.
No, ultimately he's gonna have to go through that hardcore bondage and slavery for 1,000 years.
That's it. You're gonna be used to build up the kingdom of heaven. All right, and then once the 1,000 years is up, we're gonna have it's no place for you devils. We're gonna have no use for you devils anymore. All right, all that's gonna be left is that the genocide of these devils. All right. The answer ain't the genocide of the Palestinians. No, the scripture's going to you devils have to get cut off. All right, for what you've done. All right, but first you're gonna have to go through that hardcore bondage for 1,000 years, man. See?
Gone.
Get 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. And yeah, just get that.
Gone. So this 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
Yeah, so that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. All right, so for the prophecies to happen, for the downfall of this kingdom to happen, all right, the Israelites have to go through that awakening, all right, of who they truly are, all right, of their heritage, of understanding that, we are the people that the Bible, we are the biblical Israelites, okay? And the Lord is going to give us the 100% truth. The Lord is going to give us his name. All right. The Lord is going to give us the breakdowns of the scriptures, the understanding of the scriptures. All right. Ultimately, we're going to preach against it, prophesy against this place. All right. To do what? All right. We're going to keep reading.
Gone. It says 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Yeah, that's who this devil is, the man of sin, the man of perdition. That's why he's scrambling, trying to figure out a way to, cast away the blame from himself, playing the blame game, saying that the Palestinian, he's the problem, Jake, he's the problem, trying to erase what he's done in history. All right, and we're bringing out who this devil really is. It's starting with the prophets. All right, and even your own people is exposing you as the devil, man. All right, so you can't escape your judgment. All right, no matter how much hypocrisy you try to how you try to twist the scriptures, in order to fit your narrative. That's all that plantation Christianity was about, man. The slave Bible. Only bringing out certain precepts, scriptures, all right, in order to justify, enslaving our people. You gotta go through the whole book, the volume of the book, and when you read it, you understand that, this man is the devil. All right, and he's supposed to have made a country founded on, worshiping the Most High, Christianity. All right, and we're living in a society where it's completely backwards, man. All right, it has nothing to do with the Bible, man. All right. Esau wanted to talk about how to bring down crime and going to you. How about you establish the law, statutes, and commandments? All right. But this man is the devil. He's not fit to worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Ever since the days of Cain, he couldn't even make the right sacrifice. Or he got mad and he was the devil, crashed out, so to speak, went to murder his brother Abel. All right, go fast forward to Esau. All right, you sold away your birthright. All right, you were never fit. You were never fit to be a man of the Lord, man. All right, that was given unto Abraham, down to Isaac, unto Jacob. All right, your people was created for the sole purpose of being the wicked. See?
Yep.
Go ahead.
It says, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or called power, it says, or that is worshipped. So he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Yeah. So how can you be a man of the Lord and you trying to be the Lord, man? That don't even make no sense. You're trying to be the Most High, man. Yeah. You building up the space force so you could try to take on the most Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and the angels. All right. That's what you're not trying to be a servant of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You're trying to be the Lord on the left hand side, man. Yep. All right. Yep. Getting everybody the MOTB. All right. Having your surveillance, your satellites and cameras, and having your different which are pretty much like left-handed angels.
AI.
AI.
Yeah.
You know, there's this different technology. All right, but that has you know, you can't overpower the Lord, man. All right, because the Lord put the spirit on you devils to create all that technology. All right, and the Lord is gonna come and show His power and take away all that in under an hour, man. All the military might that you have, all right, they have no effect on the chariots, man. All right, the chariots completely, you know, defy, like, you know, the laws of physics and all this other, you know, whatever science, you know, Esau came up with. All right, you know, the chariots, they don't have to follow that, man. They don't have a controls, fuel. All right, you know, it just moved by the spirit, you know. And these devils are losing their minds because they keep seeing the so-called UFO sightings, you know, and those are the chariots, man. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, hey, you know, that's funny because what, ultimately, you know, even now, you know, with these current things, you know, well, you know, you got, of course, the it's like it, the it's just you know, different things that even now, you know, basically Esau can't overcome.
Yep.
You know, even well, let's just read. It says Second Thessalonians chapter 2:4, who opposeth and exalteth. Well, we just read that. It says verse 5. Remember, it says Second Thessalonians chapter 2:5. It says, well, yeah, to read this, it says Second Thessalonians chapter 2:5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? It says, and now you know that you know what toldeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mischief of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. It says, and that wicked shall be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Yeah, and what it says, like a capital W, you know. So obviously that's you know, referring onto somebody specific. That's referring onto Esau. It says, who the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Yeah, you know, you basically what we can go all throughout the scriptures, and it goes into how the Lord's coming back to take down Esau. We got Isaiah chapter 63. And what, you know, we have a lot of other precepts that go into the Lord coming back to take down Esau's kingdom, and as well as these other nations.
That's it.
And of course, what to set up his people to redeem his people, and what put of course the nation of Israel over all the nations. That's what's coming.
That's it. And the Bible clearly identifies who you Edomites are. So the more you know, you could try to hide as you know, the biblical Israelites. You know, you could try to hide as, you know, being Japhites and saying the Edomites was done away with and things like that. But what does Job 9:24 say? All right, the earth will be given into the hand of the wicked. All right, and that's you. You devils are known as the wicked according to the Bible, man. All right, the Edomites were not done away with. All right, you Edomites are still alive. All right, and in rulership. All right, in a wicked rulership, man. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's funny because, you know, Esau says that the Edomites aren't done away with, but, you know, every other nation still remains today.
Right.
Or
yeah.
But, you know, hey, except for the Edomites.
Yeah, no. Yeah, because, you know, the Obadiah, the prophecy in Obadiah, that hasn't happened yet, man. All right. Isaiah 13, all right, hasn't happened yet. All right. The destruction of Babylon hasn't happened yet. All right, that's coming. Isaiah 14 hasn't happened yet. Okay, and we can bring out those scriptures as well. All right, but you know, you devils cannot escape what the Bible says. All right, and these devils will try anything. You know, oh, you know, they're a hate group. You know, don't listen to them. All right, you know, set up these different agents like Vocab alone, whose sole purpose and identity is to demonize the Hebrew Israelites. All right, go against the Hebrew Israelites. All right, setting up these different agents. All right, But that no matter what Esau tries, the elect won't be deceived. The scriptures go into that. All right, it's still gonna be that remnant. It's still gonna be, the elect. All right, that overcomes. All right. So you got something?
Gone. It says, Joel chapter 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, and who rules the world? All right, it's not multiple nations. It's not it's not a toss-up. All right, it's not a collective. It's the Edomites. All right, started with Amalek. All right, the Federal Reserve bankers, right? The elites. All right, those who control the money. All right, those are the ones that are currently in rulership. Okay. So for you to say that Jake is the problem with the world, with America, that's backwards. All right, Jake doesn't didn't make the laws of this place. All right, Jake doesn't force you to pay tax. All right, Jake isn't the reason for the rise of inflation. All right, Jake isn't the reason that your food is poison that's killing you. All right, that's you devils. All right, and you devils gonna have to pay for all that, man. All right, and you devils don't care. You look the other way. All right, because you making a profit out of it. All right, and you hate Jake. Whatever destroys Jake, these devils is fine with that. All right, but when it comes to their own people's wickedness, all right, they justify it. They justify their own wickedness every time, man.
Yeah.
That's the devil, man. And because and they're able to make it that way because they're in control. They're able to spin the narratives. Okay? Control the media, control the headlines, control what people see. You see? Yeah. So they're able and they're able to do it through all sorts of different ways, witchcraft, sorcery. All right? Shalom. Shalom. Trying to change history. All right, it goes into covering the faces of the judges thereof. All right, making the Edomite look like he's done everything throughout history. And Jake's history started with the slave ships, man. All right, that just goes to show you that that this is the devil, man. That the Bible goes into. All right, go ahead.
It says Ecclesiastes chapter 13:3, the rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor is wronged, and he must entreat also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what Esau does. Basically, of course, he can go all of course, he can go all throughout the earth, and he can again basically do all this wickedness, but put it upon our people. Plastic. Of course, floods it with trillions of tons, or whatever's the exact number. Hey, to read again, it's Sirach chapter 13:3. The rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor is wronged, and he must entreat also. Yeah. So again, Esau puts all the blame upon our people.
Yep. Yeah. That's the rich man, Esau. That's what he's known as. All right, and it's not necessarily anything wrong with just being rich, but look what this man has done with his riches. How he's got his riches. Get one kingdom translated unto another. Get that precept.
Gone. So this is it's like this thing loading. Okay.
You got it?
So yeah, this is Khan. So this is Sirach chapter 10 and 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah. And how did the Edomites get rich in America? What did they do? All right. They were killing our people. All right. Stole the land. All right. Put them in hardcore bondage. All right. Through the justifying it through plantation Christianity. All right. That's how this devil has gotten rich. All right. And all of a sudden, you got this one of the Edomite pastors, MAGA pastors, all right, saying that the best thing that happened to us in history was when the Edomite slave ships hit the coast of Africa. That was the best thing that's happened to us in history. All right, and then again, these are the devils that Jake fights so hard for, that they can obtain salvation, man. Esau's not fit for salvation. He wasn't fit for the blessings, the promise. He wasn't fit for the birthright. All right. Cain couldn't even make the right sacrifice. You weren't made to worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You was created for the sole purpose of being the wicked. That's it. All right. Being the devil. All right.
Khan, I got that.
Go ahead.
It says, Proverbs chapter 16 and 4, the Lord Yahweh hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. All right. The Lord has created the wicked, and the Lord has created the righteous.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the previous statement you made about Esau, saying we should be grateful or something like that, you said?
Yeah. Grateful for being in slavery or something. Yeah. He was going into that, but he also went into the best thing that happened to us was
They related together. Yeah.
Yep.
So you finished. I want to speak on that extensively.
Khan.
All right, Khan.
Your thoughts.
Okay, Khan.
To read this, it says, Proverbs chapter 16 and 4, the Lord Yahweh hath made all things for himself, yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. Yeah, in Isaiah chapter 47, 45 and 7, says how, the Lord created light and he created darkness. So what? The Lord created, the righteous people upon the planet Earth, which represents, of course, the nation of Israel, the Lord's people, and what the Lord has created, the wicked. Of course, Esau to serve, and ultimately, of course, Esau is set up to do his purpose, which is wickedness.
That's it.
It says, Proverbs chapter 16 and 5, everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord Yahweh. Though hand join in hand, he should not be unpunished. Yeah. And Esau is the proudest person upon the planet Earth.
Yeah.
And now, well, of course, what Esau's joining hand in hand by creating these certain laws to make it as if he's equal with everybody.
Yep.
Which again, they're all facades, because hey, as we know, as the saying goes. Or of course, well, look at Trump. He's pushing for, of course, white supremacy.
That's it. And that's all it's about. Like going back to, what that Edomite said. All right, going into that was the best thing that happened in our history. All right, what followed after that? All right, hundreds of years of hardcore bondage. All right. You got things that buck breaking. You got things like Derby's dose. All right, you got things like Jim Crow laws. All that was
so we can have freedom of speech. And amendments in the Bill of Rights.
God.
So we should be grateful. That's demonic. So give me Romans 1 and 15. Give me Proverbs. Hosea 4 and 6, Proverbs 19, 1 and 2. So because Esau, Edom, he's a devil. So basically what I just said. So all the hell they went through was all worth it because we got amendments, Bill of Rights, low interest loans on if you want to go to school, grants.
Yeah.
Got what else we get? Freedom of religion, which is not really freedom of religion, but we get we won't get persecuted as of right now. The persecution's coming, to practice whatever religion we want. So as long as Esau is the ruler, so we should be okay with being subjugated, because we get benefits from subjugation after we went through the physical slavery, physical torment. But now the effects of that physical torment, now we have mental torment. Now we're subjugated people, we're a broken people. So Esau, Edom, he prizes himself to be a man that have subjugated you physically and mentally. That's where his power is. So he's subjugated us physically, now he's subjugating us mentally. Right? So that's why he can make a statement like that all that was worth it, because we get to have freedom of speech and we get to go in concrete buildings, and we have paved roads and parks, and automobiles. Like other countries don't have that. But we should be grateful that we're experiencing these experiences. We have technology, we have computer systems and information, high-speed internet. We should all be grateful for that, because if we didn't, we would be experiencing, I guess, a third world type of standard of living, having to walk for miles to get water because of our village, our family land is 15 miles away from a watering well, so we got to walk to another tribe's watering well and get his water, and then walk back, with water, and then we got to wash clothes outside. So Esau, he basically believes that he's God.
Yeah.
He believes that. Thessalonians also. Read the precept I asked you for.
Yep. Romans 1:15. So as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also.
Remember, Esau, Edom is not a godly man on the right hand side. Right? He's been given the technology because that's his blessing. All right, that's his blessing to be given the technology. All right, our blessing is the spirit. Our blessing is to prophesy the downfall of the kingdom that the Lord gave you. Yahweh Shai gave you the kingdom. He gave me that in one of the Gospels about the devil. Showed him the kingdom of the world, that whole parable. Well, that wasn't a parable, that was actual events.
Right.
And that goes take you through the different temptations and their response that Yahweh Shai gave. Continue.
Yep. Romans 1:16. For I am not.
Line the scriptures up in the list. All right, go ahead.
Yep. Romans 1:16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Hamashiach, for it is the power of Yahweh unto salvation unto everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek.
Right, the Greek are referring to the Israelites that settled in Greece, the different city-states of Greece. All right, or Greece as a united country. But during this time, it was conquered by the Romans. All right, and those are the Israelites that were foreign to the Commonwealth of Israel. Good.
Yep. Verse 17. For therein is the righteousness of Yahweh revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith.
By faith, yeah.
Yep.
A real Christian wouldn't say that. Like, if you're a Christian, you believe in inclusion and mercy, peace and love for all people. That's the Edomite version of Christianity I'm referring to, right?
Yep.
You wouldn't make a statement like that, because these Edomite, so-called white supremacists, they're really the ones that are religious. They're just really so-called white supremacists. Right. A real Christian, according to their own doctrine, wouldn't make a statement like, "Oh, we should be grateful." They'll be preaching Christ Jesus. They were preaching this guy. But those things were wrong. But you should forgive them because they're your brother. That's what they would say, right? But instead they said, "No, you should be grateful that you're here in this country." These are Christians now. I'm not saying that, like, if you're not religious, you should make statements like that. If you're not religious, but if you're a Christian, you're supposed to be inclusion, right? This is the face of what they preach.
Yep.
All right, they say everybody's equal. Right, so this is how we know they really worship Satan. Right, they have this compartmentalization. They have the unique ability to. Well, it's not really unique, but they're very good at it of holding two contradictory facts in their mind at the same time. Two contradictions, but it doesn't make sense when you're a logical person. Like you're a Christian, according to your version of Christianity, what you believe Christianity is, like the mainstream Christianity. But yeah, you saying that you should stop whining, stop being a bitch, stop being a little boy or whatever. You know, be grateful that you were conquered. All right. So they also believe in what the manifest destiny, which it is a true doctrine. It's not not disagreeing with it. They think it was a righteous thing. All right. See, the Lord got you in a conundrum. All right, because you're just a tool for the spirits. Ephesians 6th chapter. We'll get that too. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. All right. You're just a tool. You're an agent for Yahweh Shai. Well, it says the wicked, which is thy sword. Line these scriptures up. Yep. Write a list of something. Get it out. Organize it. Right? You're a tool. And that's the mystery that these people that are religious can't understand. We're all just tools in the Lord's playwright. All right? So he was given the power to subjugate us and given the technology, the microchip, electricity, integrated circuits, you know? He's given that power. Of course, you have pioneers amongst our people, so-called black men, black women, all right? Ephraimites, that have come up with pieces of that technology,
Yep.
all right, to help push Esau, Edom's technology further, right?
Yep. Got precept.
Right.
Ezekiel 28:3.
Yeah.
Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel.
Yeah.
There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
Right, and it's made him so proud. Wow, integrated circuits, microchips, electricity, alternating current, direct current. We can do this. We can build a bunch of technology off of this stuff. Experiments with material that can absorb light. You can make a picture. So they did experiments, Einstein and all them guys, Alexander Graham Bell. They discovered materials that can capture light. You know, and they tell Esau's proud. They discovered material, either chemicals or earth metals. They put them together. They made experiments, and then they create something that you would think would be magic, right? Image sensor. You know. Then it became a microchip. Because it's light, right? So they don't have to use chemicals anymore, like they used to do in the camera. So Esau gotten really proud because he kept getting all this success. Like America, if it wasn't for America, a lot of invention wouldn't exist. But I believe the so-called industrial revolution started over in Britain or in Europe, right? And then it came over here. But then America the greatest inventor of they say is supposed to be Einstein, not Einstein, Thomas Edison apparently.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the greatest inventor to ever live. He's American, all right? So that pride that's get built up in them, man. That damn pride. All right? And that's going to be what Scripture say, pride goes before destruction.
Right.
Ego invested. Get that precept also. Finish reading that.
Yep. Ezekiel 28:4. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures.
Yep.
By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches.
Get trade. Yep.
And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
Yeah, that heart. I forgot to see you said that.
Yeah.
So you made some money. LED. I don't know who created LED lights. Probably maybe Japanese or something. But Esau still uses it. You know. But all this technology is because they found the integrated circuits and microchips, and that's what I think most of the technology is based off of. You know, making like electric like cords very small. You know, that's an integrated circuit. Basically, it's like a printed metal circuit on a board. You know, instead of having it be like wires, like copper wires, you have a circuit. So things will be able to be made very small. I'm not a expert in the technology, but probably at least 7%, right? All right. So Esau has been gotten so much pride, and the thing is, he has no filter. He's not a godly man where you're accomplishing a lot of things, but you still have a higher power, you know, that you bow down to and you respect, you know, and that keeps you humble. Esau don't have that, so his pride just let loose.
Yep.
So if you're a man of the Lord, you can get a lot of accomplishments, whether it be money or advancements in your what information, like knowledge, you know, where the scripture said knowledge puffeth up, right? But we're humble because we have a creator, we have a Messiah, all right? And we know the end of the matter also. We know the end. We know what the end gonna be.
Yeah.
So we got it right here. This is the end gonna be here. So knowing this, if you're a man of the Lord, you can't be ego invested in pride. That shit don't exist. All right, because we know what the end is: total destruction. All right. So Esau don't have that. All right. Is it more on that?
God, yeah.
No.
Ezekiel 28:6. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee.
High. See, the only people that can actually be proud, or spirits that can be proud, is really the Father, and then the Son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is still a creation, but the only person that technically has an ultimate right to be proud is the Father. All right, and then you got Yahweh Shai in number 2. All right? Because he was given a commission. All power, it says, well, he can be proud because the scripture said all power is given to me in heaven and in earth. No man can cometh to the Father but by me, Yahweh Shai. Right? So Yahweh Shai, they can be proud. Yahweh and Yahweh Shai can be proud. They can be most high. They can say, I made you an idiot. I made you fail that test. I made you pass that test. I gave you this job. All right? They can say I. We can't say I as creations, all right, as a thing created, as a clay. We can't say that. So we know the end of the matter, right? So it's impossible for a man of the Lord to get proud, all right? Because we know, we believe, we've had visions, fire, lava, torment. So Esau doesn't have that filter. Esau worships evil spirits. Right? They don't give them, the evil spirits don't give them filters to be humble. They tell them the opposite. All right? What else do we have in the call for?
Got some. It says, Sirach chapter 10:18, pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. And also I backed that up.
Right, so we know it's negative. So it will be a negative thing. All right, so that's a general statement, you know. So it's a negative thing. That's the interpretation of that. So when you do have it, that's you're working with the left hand side. You're not working with or you're working with the negative will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Let's say that, because all the spirits emanate from Yahweh Shai, whether they evil or righteous. It doesn't really matter. It's what the Lord tells the spirits to do is what actually matters. All right. So now Esau has totally engulfed himself. Esau, Edom, so-called white man, has totally engulfed himself in pride. All right. And remember, don't try to think that so-called white man thinks like you. He doesn't think like you. He has a wicked mind. It's different from your mind. All right. He has that pride. All right, and that's intrinsic. Okay. It's intrinsic and extrinsic too. It's both, but it's in his spirit. All right, to make statements like you be grateful for the freedoms that you have now. You're not living out in a damn teepee or like a hut or something like that, or have to go to miles to get water because your line carry shit on your head and walk through the forest, have to put mud on your face. To keep the bugs off of you. You know, you gotta. That's what they put the mud on their face for, is to keep bugs and shit off of them. You know, they didn't figure out, you can burn something, even though they probably still do that too. But it's traditional to put the mud on your face to keep the insects and parasites and shit. You know, you can do the research on that off of you. So you still got people that do that. You know, in Africa and in South America. So. That pride, so put on a suit. Esau didn't invent no damn suit, but they have a certain, a way of dress that they respect more than, let's say, the traditional robes. You know, and then all these fucking nations are working together. We start seeing them wearing the damn suit with the military badge. They all working the fuck together, man. Who the fuck started this shit? And then they all just wear the same fucking clothes. You know, you think that y'all are not working together. Y'all got a goddamn hat with the damn wreath and the damn medals and shit cut and seamed a certain way. Like, come on, man. You know y'all working together. Y'all just hate each other, but y'all work together still. It's about the Russians and the Chinese and the fucking African countries and the South American countries. Y'all got this weird thing that y'all do together, but y'all hate each other at the same time. Yeah, Fidel Castro with a fucking Western suit on. How the fuck you expect us to think that y'all really enemy, but you wearing a goddamn military uniform like a Western, but you in fucking Cuba or you in fucking Uganda with a damn full general military suit on. Like, who the fuck gave you them damn clothes?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, good.
This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken.
There you go. Perfect precept.
Yep. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Yeah. They took them damn military uniforms, their way of dress.
Man.
You know? And just replicated it.
Yeah.
Esau Edom, man, remember, he has no filter to make him humble. So he just had exponential growth. He has no filter to say, you know, and he's a habitual liar too, because he'll have that like I was mentioning earlier, he had that the cognitive dissonance compartmentalization where he can be a Christian. Maybe bringing the devil back out again. So we hold that. So he'll say he's a Christian, but he'll also say, you know what, be grateful that you were subjugated. Be grateful, but the mainstream Christianity teaches inclusion.
Oh, yep.
It's you're supposed to be a kind person.
Yep. Love
you know,
everybody.
mercy.
Yep.
You know, but be grateful that you were subjugated. That's not a Christian's not supposed to say that. So again, they have two contradictory facts they can hold in their mind at the same time, and they don't have a problem with it.
Yep.
You know, they're again, don't try to think like an Edomite. You're going to get lost. That's a dark web of demonic energy. Okay, they don't think like logical, rational, righteous people. All right?
Yeah.
They're evil. They're fucking wicked. All right?
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't gonna see vocab say nothing against that.
You
know?
No. That devil.
But when it comes to Esau being recompensed for what he did unto our people, that's the scripture. That's not what the scripture's talking about. Oh, this is not what this means.
Yeah, be grateful you're not in the summertime walking around with a loincloth on.
Yep.
And barefoot walking through the forest. Be grateful that we made you put pants on and worship this guy.
Yeah, and then the devil proceeds to say the richest jakes are in America, some along those lines.
That's a fact, but that is a fact. The richest so-called black people are Americans. All right, but that's a consolation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the richest black people are American. Why the fuck wouldn't they be? It makes sense.
Yeah.
The richest black men in the world are American, but that doesn't make it right because they either you gave it to them or they came up with an idea or an invention and they got rich off of it. That doesn't exonerate you from your crimes just because the richest black people in the world are American. That's not a fucking surprise, you dumbass.
Yeah. And then these different people, like a lot of these super rich jakes, Esau has profited off of that anyway. You know, and like the athletes, NBA, NFL, the NBA commissioner, small hat, different record label
1%,
executives.
It's 1%
Yeah.
That's not a fact that you should be promoting.
Right.
That the richest black people in the world are American. It's 1%.
Right.
Yep,
Seriously?
Right.
And the money that they're making,
not even 1%.
yeah, the money that they're making is low level compared to the money that they're bringing in. The jakes that they're bringing in money for the elites, for higher ups there,
Yeah. So if you make $100 million, that means they made $500 million.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Easily. The reason why they're able to take a Jake team that's mainly Jake. Look at Dana White. He got all them fighters in there. They making money, but he making exactly.
Roughly paraphrase.
He making even more money. He ain't out there losing money.
That's it.
And we should be grateful. The whole thing is that because we're doing well, or we have the perception of we're doing well, that we shouldn't be complaining because we walk around with barefoot and our buttocks is covered, our loins are covered with pants that we should be. And Esau didn't fucking invent pants. Like Esau, he's just a liar, right? He didn't invent fucking pants.
Which I mean, Jake is obviously wicked, but when you look at the poverty line and where the majority of Jake is at, and where crime is stemming from the poverty line,
but it's still better in a third world country. So that's the argument. That's the argument. So you're not. But the thing is, you're not justified. Give me the Book of James also. So basically, it's okay for us to be ignorant so long as we have freedom and we're doing better than everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, so because we're not
in comparison to
okay, a poor Brazilian village or a poor African village in Uganda or Nigeria, we're doing better than them. So you need to shut the fuck up. That's what they're saying. You can work a minimum wage job, or you can work a mediocre or a very good job. Shut the fuck up.
No, the problem.
See, the thing is, Yahweh Shai don't work like that.
Is that? Yep.
That's not how the Lord works. Because he's not a man of principle. He's not a righteous or moral man, meaning righteous in that sense. He's not a righteous man. So his stance is that America's going to continue forever. So we might as well get used to it.
Right. And the majority of people don't understand that we're the true kings and rulers. Just like Ezra said, if the world be made for our sakes, how long shall this endure? Right. So in the other scripture it says, I have seen servants walking, servants on horses, and horsemen walking as servants.
Servants get paid.
Yeah. So the problem,
lower wages.
So the problem is,
we want the higher.
Exactly. That's the thing.
We want the infinite sign, the Greek sign. We for infinite. We don't want to be getting the $25, $50 an hour. We want to be getting $100,000 an hour. Yeah. We want the rulership. 100,000.
The problem is,
pounds.
The problem is our people the majority of our people have been given the crumbs, so that's what they want. We don't want the crumbs. We want the steaks. We want the great dainties of the earth, which was promised to us. Yeah, and that's what our people are so ignorant to. They think that we should be equal to, and then their equal to is the crumbs.
Be grateful to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Be grateful for the crumbs. No,
shut up.
Yeah, you gotta understand what we were given, what the Lord had promised us.
Got you an apartment.
Yep.
Got you. You want children. You want a wife.
Exactly.
You want a horse. You got to give you all that. So shut the fuck up.
You got health care. You got Medicaid. You got the Obama phones. Everybody got a phone now. You know, that was a big win back in the early 2000s. Everyone got a phone.
We're getting rid of the immigrants, making the streets safer. Crime is going down. We're prosperous. No, that's not how the Lord works. The Lord works with judgment, and mercy on His elect. So the judgment is going to be carried out, no matter how comfortable you think we are, in body or in mind. It doesn't. Our comfort level is irrelevant. All right. And you thought that was that's the reason why that you get to be in your position, because we're comfortable now. You think we're comfortable now? Well, a lot of Jakes is comfortable, but that's not the end of the matter. What the scripture says, is it now time for you to dwell in your sealed houses? The Apostle Gabar used to bring that out a lot. Your sealed houses. Okay. Look, see if you can find that precept. We're pilgrims. We're only here for a certain time, so we're comfortable for a certain time. Okay? We're still in the valley of the shadow of death. The Jacob's trouble is still going to come. So be grateful.
If I can also mention too, this you got to understand that this kingdom that we're in right now is a punishment. It's basically like a timeout. If a kid were to get put in the corner, they ain't happy that they're in the corner, man. They're in the corner of the fucking room, and they're supposed to be grateful. There's a whole room behind them, and they're in timeout in the corner.
We're in a low state.
Yeah, we're in the corner of the fucking house right now, man. Like, and we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to be making the best of it.
They're promoting our ignorance.
Yeah, all we gotta do is look around, look behind us. The Jake that's walking past. That's the reality of our people. You know, you might have some bottom of the barrel Edomites that got the short end of the stick, but hey, well.
Exactly.
You know, this is your kingdom. You have the advantage.
Well, you're supposed to be smart, intelligent, know how to read books and educate yourself and get low interest loans from the government and take classes and courses. But apparently a lot of Edomites are doing bad.
Well,
I guess they're stupid too.
Well,
just like the niggas. They're stupid like the niggas are.
Well, because of Esau, man, because the wicked, it says if the time wasn't short and no flesh was saved, because Esau's a fucking damn devil. The way he rules in complete wickedness. So he'll just kill everybody, even himself, if he could. Because he's just so much on that pride and that that like death. And his hell cannot be satisfied. That's all he cares about.
That's where the word is going, because we have something called the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. You got to have a damn organization to protect, not to kill the earth.
Yep.
Okay.
He's all damn
you
devil.
You got something called recycling.
Yep.
Right. Recycling. All right. that's all because the earth is getting fucked up. They developed something called recycling.
Yep. Yeah,
And environmental protection agency.
And there's no punishments to the people that do wrong or are wicked or whatever like that. They're just allowed to basically do whatever the hell they fucking want.
Destroy them that destroyed the earth.
That's precept. Yep. Proverbs 17 and 15. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord.
Yeah, that's a statement to say, oh, be grateful because we got democracy, we got amendments, First Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 13th Amendment, Fourth Amendment. Oh, shut the fuck up and be grateful. Oh no, we're supposed to be sitting on high. We're supposed to be royalty.
Yeah.
So we know that we're going to eventually get to that point through the prophecies. Prophecies are going to make us, are going to put us in that proper position. All right. So you done stole from us. You done stole every goddamn thing, and now you want peace.
Yep.
You done robbed, murdered, stole, and now you want to have peace. But the thing is, which you'll hear people in the government, Department of State, they'll tell you that America is an experiment. This is an experiment. All right. What has been created in America hasn't been done before. All right. You got laws protecting speech. You didn't have laws protecting speech in the old world. If you spoke against the king, you got your head chopped the fuck off, or your life was made really hard. Isn't there a law in our Bible, in our book, about speaking against the king? You can't speak against the king. You'll get fucked up. Something gonna happen to you. Something gonna happen to you. All right, you speak against the king. We can speak against the king here. All right. Well, it's becoming apparently you can't burn the flag anymore. Well, that's a First Amendment. You got a First Amendment to burn the flag, right? That's part of like expression. Give me the 5 pillars of the First Amendment. All right. So this is new. America is an experiment, and the experiment is about to be over. Okay. Communism. So you can't speak against the king. But in our ancient kingdom, we couldn't speak against King David and Saul. Look, you going. It don't say that you're going to get your head chopped off, but that's one of the laws that's not written. It does tell you that you're not supposed to speak against the king, though. It tells you that. But the penalty is ambiguous. But you see examples in the scriptures of when you spoke against the king, what happened to you. There's at least one. When Benjamin was speaking against David, I believe.
Can't speak against the tiny tops.
Well, you can't speak against the low hat people.
Yeah, but right? that's.
Well, we're supposed to have a First Amendment, but there's limits to the First Amendment. So what's the 5 pillars of the First Amendment?
Yeah, it says the 5 pillars of freedoms of the First Amendment are freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and the right to petition the government.
To redress grievances. All right. So be grateful that we have that. So if you were in our home world, or ancient world, and a white man's ship didn't come, you spoke against the king, you got your head chopped off. If he's over there in West Africa, or the monarchs over here, you spoke against something against the king or the tribal leaders, you're there to knock your ass off, right? Or you bring you to judgment, right? They put you in a hole and then I don't know, rip your fucking heart out or something. I don't know, right? But be grateful. The thing is, the Lord made you do that. So when that's the way the Lord programmed it. It's for us to have these different freedoms that have never been given out before, and to eventually raise up prophets, okay, that can preach in your own kingdom against you, okay? Because in the ancient world, you couldn't do this, okay? You couldn't, prophets couldn't go around and prophesy against the monarchs without, being divinely protected, Did it in Israel because they're amongst Israelites, all right? But damn, Moabite prophet couldn't come up and then start talking against the king of Moab. He get his head knocked the fuck off, all right? But amongst Israel, we could, all right? So the norm is that there are penalties. There will be penalties, but in America, there's no penalty. But that's going to be reversed. It's going to be reversed because the scripture says that. The rules are not a terror unto good works, but that's only for a certain period of time, okay? So we are able to have the liberty to preach, all right, for a certain period of time, all right? Then the prophets were divinely protected, even we were under the captivities of the other nations, and to a point. and many of them lost their lives doing that. But in America, we can do it freely and not get put to death. What's known to be happen to the prophets in the ancient world? Stabbed up, head chopped off, hung, sawed asunder. We can. The rules are not a terror to good work. That's only for a certain period of time, and that time is going. When times get in trouble, the rules will definitely be a terror unto good works. All right.
I got precept.
Precept.
This is the book of Daniel 2:20. Daniel answered.
Precept.
Daniel answered and said, "Blessed be the name of Yahweh forever and ever, for wisdom and might are His, and He changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him." Yeah, so there you go. All right, it's the Lord that sets up the kings and removes the kings. It's the Lord that gives the prophets the understanding, the prophets the protection, all right, to be able to come out and preach the word. You know, preach it against this place. You know, continually complain, all right, about the wickedness of the kingdom that we live in, man. All right, so this is all through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, for us to even come out here, and even be awakened to this understanding, and be able to push it, all right, and be able to push it as vessels to the four corners of the earth, all right.
Yeah. So, and the design of America was designed by Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai designed America. The reason why we had the amendments is because Yahweh Shai made it so. He put it in Esau's head to free himself from the crown of Europe, which Britain, which they're not really free. It's really all the elite rule behind the scenes. Okay, the bankers, right? They rule behind the scenes on both ends.
Yeah.
So Esau, Edom, his ideas come from the spirit world, right? So we can freely preach the scriptures in Babylon, because America is an experiment.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it's almost a 250-year experiment. It's about to come to an end.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the Lord set up the free speech. The Lord set up the internet, right? YouTube, a platform for the truth to be pushed.
What precepts you got?
Yep, gone. It says Psalms chapter 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Exactly. The wicked Esau Edom is the sword of the Lord.
Yep.
Okay? The Lord Yahweh Shai has many swords. Nuclear weapons is one sword. Esau Edom is another sword. Yeah. But it also says, what? Make you friends of unrighteous mammon. All the companies we work for are demonic as hell, evil as fuck. And then you might be in business with a devil, with a demon. Alright? You might be transporting fucking biological material that Esau going to end up using for an experiment to kill a bunch of people. For all you know, you've been driving a damn truck. It's a biohazard, signs and flammable signs on the back of the truck. That truck could be the cause for 1 million deaths within the next 2 years. For you don't know what the hell you're transporting. All right. You could be doing work on a computer that's spying on people. You be putting software together that's going to be eventually used to spy on people in the future, illegally and legally. All right, they got the license plate readers. They track your cars going through the different, whether the car is stolen or not, through the different camera systems and all that stuff. I think every city uses it now, pretty much. So, you could be maintaining that system. You could be going repairing cables for that system to work correctly. Or going underground and connecting power and gas and all that stuff. You contributed to the progress of the United States of America, Babylon, Rome, New Rome. All right. So there's a precept. No, in America's an experiment. It's going to come to an end. Make you friends of unrighteous men. All right. Again, America's coming to. At least you got to hold that sign up. All right. America's coming to an end. Babylon's coming to an end, man. That's the devil. Go ahead, read next precept.
It says, Luke chapter 16:9, and I say unto you, make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when ye fail, it says, they may receive you into everlasting habitations.
Right, meaning a period of time, okay? Because America's going to be destroyed 100% soon. A couple of months, a couple of years. It's going to come. All right, the day is going to come. And this crazy looking black guy right here, he's going to come in as a spirit. All right, in a ship the size of the sun, or whatever dimension he deems fit. All right, of whatever color and presence felt, you know. All right, you got the Lord as described in these two scriptures here, Revelation and Daniel. Border of blue, fringes, golden girdle, ephod, and the breastplate with the stones. Okay. Ephod is the priestly garment under here, right here. This. All right. Then you have to robe over it. So Esau, Edom, you're not the source that we should be looking to for what righteousness is. Okay, you're not the template. All right, the scriptures is the template. Let's say you had judgment without mercy, who I'm showing no mercy. You got another one? Well, get the scripture as James has asked for. Read yours.
Okay. Isaiah 47:3. It says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered." Yeah,
right now by making a statement like, "Oh, you shut up, be grateful." You got constitutional rights and all that shit. But isn't that's being eroded? Yeah. He treating you like you a fucking animal.
Yeah.
With this ice shit, you know.
What did what's his name say from Seinfeld? It was 50 years ago.
Yeah, Michael Richards.
Yeah, with a fork up your ass or whatever the fuck.
You're upside down with a fork in your ass. Yep. 50 years ago, we would have had you upside down with a fork in your ass.
As if we're supposed to be appreciative of that, you know, of the so-called growth that we've gotten over the years.
Yeah. Michael Richards, Seinfeld, what's Kramer?
Yeah, Kramer. There you go.
Kramer. He had a little Laugh Factory episode, I believe it was. He lost his shit.
Yep.
He lost his emotional content. And it's told like it was.
Okay, it's
a nigger. A nigger's a nigger.
Yeah.
50 years ago, we would have had you upside down with a fork in your ass. And then everybody started clapping. Yeah. Like fucking apes. When people data, well, you're albino apes. If I'm a black ape, you're a fucking albino ape.
Exactly.
A yeti. A snow beast.
Yep.
Okay, I'm a black ape and you're a snow yeti.
Yep.
All right. Same difference, right? All right. But I can be redeemed and saved. Your ass can't. That's the difference, actually. I can stop being a degenerate and a fool and ignorant, right? But you're going into slavery in the chains. It's like putting them damn irons on people, right? Torture cuffs, as some people call them. Hey, America's experiment is going to come to an end. All right, go ahead.
Yep. Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Let's put this on, boy. And I shall not meet thee as a man. And I shall not meet thee as a man. Okay, so Yahweh Shai is going to come back as in the chariots. And his presence is going to be whatever he wants it to be, whatever he under orders to do. But he's going to make his appearance. All right, in the clouds. All right, and what? The prophets are going to prophesy and dream dreams. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be left in ignorance. All right. The prophets are going to prophesy and dream dreams like we always did. Yahweh Shai Rajah, all right? Not going to be, the Lord come back and we're going to be totally ignorant of what's going on. No dreams and visions going to go out. No, the dreams, give me the prophecy. Joel, how much more is that going to increase as we get to the day? You know, his actual return. You know, right now we got dreams and visions, you know. But when the Lord makes his return, we're going to prophesy. We're going to go to the books, the records. Because we're drawing closer to unity with Yahweh Shai. Which Yahweh Shai said we're friends, no longer servants, but friends get that precept too. So you think Yahweh Shai is going to give us dreams and visions when he cracks those clouds? Yeah, of course. It's just proper. All right. Read that special precept.
It says Joel 2:28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions.
Yeah, young men shall see. Yeah, so if we are the prophets, if we are the prophets, which we believe we are, yeah, we're gonna get transmission. I mean, we gonna know what's going on. But we're gonna go through the books, and then you're gonna have brothers that gonna have visions and dreams. Then we gonna tell their visions and dreams. All right, just like the prophets did in the ancient world, and then it came to pass. Brothers gonna say, "I seen, I saw, in the night vision." One like the sun. Oh, give me that way. John said that. We're gonna do this exact when the Lord comes back. We're gonna say, or he just make his presence known with his soldiers. We're gonna say just like John said. Did John say that? I saw it in the night vision. Or Daniel. We're gonna say the exact same thing. I saw law enforcement coming against the Israelites, and they were made and they melted. Yeah, we're gonna have our real-time prophecies, or our current time prophecies. All right, because we are prophets. That's our job, to prophesy. All right, and brothers already had their visions anyway, but we're gonna have more. All right, go ahead.
It says, Daniel 7:13, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came.
And what did Daniel do? He wrote it down in the book. Okay? We don't got to write it down. We can make a video epistle if we're still able to make videos, or we just go out to the streets and prophesy. So I saw in the night vision. Read it again.
It says, Daniel chapter 7:13, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. It says, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
Yeah, so I saw in the night vision, I saw City Hall get destroyed with lasers. Mm-hmm. People running around screaming. You know, same thing. Same thing. City Hall in Philadelphia. Same thing. So when Yahweh shall return, we'll be able to prophesy. With new dreams and visions, or we can just use the ones that we already know. As soon as the Lord come back, we go to a scripture and point to it. All right, Zechariah 5. All right, go next precept. Yeah.
This is the book of John 15:15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth.
Exactly.
But I have called you friends, for all things that I've heard of my Father I have made known unto you.
We'll grab some umbrellas.
You have your umbrella?
Yeah. Got an umbrella?
Get
this one in the back seat. In the back seat.
Thank you.
Bottom left. Bottom left side.
Yeah, mine.
All right, read it again.
This book of John 15:15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you.
Right. Yeah, so we got faith that Yahushua is our friend. We're still his servants, but we're his friends. So look, when Yahushua come back, he's going to give us the tools. We already got the tools, but you know, eventually we're going to be so close to Yahushua, we're going to be talking to Yahushua face to face. So it makes sense that Yahushua would tell his friends what's going on, what he going to do, how he going to toy with Esau, toy with the devil, and fuck him up before he totally burned this fucking place. Yeah, Yahushua going to be toying with Esau, man. Esau has no technology to fuck with the Lord, Yahushua, or one angel. He has no power that he can effectively position himself to be effective against any angel whatsoever, any spirit, righteous or wicked. Esau is on no level. All those demonic spirits have the power to destroy earth with one thought, but they're under orders. They can't. You know, so Yahushua is our friend. So he's our friend, our big brother, friend, and Lord and God is going to tell us what's going on, or give us dreams and visions and help. All right, so we're not going to be, we're not going to have that fear like other people. We're going to have a healthier mental fear. All right, but we're not going to have that fear, that petrified fear. You know. You can't betray our conscience. Our conscience is molded by Yahushua, by the righteous spirits. So, do a homosexual act to save your life or to save your daughter's life. It's only going to take 5 minutes, and your son won't get his head chopped off. But look, I can't do the act or denounce Yahweh Shai. You don't gotta really mean it. Just say it. You know. We gotta bear with that pain. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna be cursed out. You're gonna be verbally cursed, or it depends on what the spirit is on the brother or sister. All right. And then judgment's gonna come. Cause I'm gonna curse you. I'm gonna curse you out. Use a family member or somebody I care about as a weapon to try to get me to comply under threat of death and torture. You know, a lot of people gonna break. You know, I pray I don't break. Yahweh Shai said that he's gonna be in an hour of temptation. I'll just use those different examples, but then you got the microchip, all right, which is the mark of the beast. All right. If we're of the elect, no matter what threat is given to us, we're not going to betray Yahweh Shai. We're not going to betray our teachings, our learning, no matter what.
You only have one?
Yeah.
You can hold it real quick. So.
You can get under there if you need to.
Okay.
So, position yourself there. Should put the signs in the car too.
Oh yeah. Can I run down there real quick?
Yeah. No, who's carrying the signs?
Me.
You go put them in the car. Yeah, go put them in the car. Yeah. This is a laminated, right?
Yeah, I'll say that should be fine.
Yeah, these ones too.
They're laminated. Yeah, this. I'm gonna tear the box
the
up.
cardboard though.
Yeah. So Esau, Edom, you have a lot to pay for. All right.
Yep.
We don't look up to Esau in a manner like when it comes to godly stuff. I'm not looking up to fucking Edomite. When it comes to God, when it comes to technology, rhetoric, public speaking, they got their greats. You know, how to drive a fucking truck, management, like, you know, technology. I'm not, okay, we'll look up to you. That's a necessary thing, you know, if you don't have, you know, someone with our own tribe or whatever, or group. So when it comes to godly things, the Bible, the end of the matter, the beginning, what's righteous and all that, there is absolutely no reason to look up to no damn Edomites. All right, if they say something right according to what the scriptures say, then that's good. That's a good thing. All right, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be saved because you say a good thing. All right, what scripture says, it's a great gulf fix betwixt us and you, and you cannot come over to salvation, and we cannot go over to your damnation. All right.
Got precept, yeah. This why we wouldn't look up to Esau. Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Yeah.
For ye know that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected.
Right, so that's how we know Esau. He'll be wise in a certain area, but then they drink blood and worship Satan. Like, what the fuck? You discovered microchips and integrated circuits, and you know you made from large computer down to the palm of your hand and all that. Like, okay, you're good mathematicians and engineers, which you got that from the old world and just expanded upon it. But you know, these are things you're good at. But then you
creating
worship,
networking so everyone get together, like Facebook. You
yeah,
know,
well,
like,
microchips.
Yeah.
Microchips, integrated circuits, radio waves. You discovered that. You didn't invent radio waves.
Right.
They already exist.
Yeah.
You just discovered a way to use it, to tap into what's able to exist. All right? You tap into it. You can't create. Esau don't create things. He just taps into what the pathway is. He tap into it.
Yep.
All right? So, yeah, we'll look up to you so we can profit from it at that point. When it comes to spiritual things, and no, hell no. All right? And it's all about profit. Bottom dollar. We don't. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't give a fuck about Esau.
Right, exactly.
We wouldn't be integrated into Esau's businesses and companies and all that shit. You know, if we could survive on our own, 100%, we wouldn't be working these damn jobs. There would be no reason to. You know, there would be no reasons to study certain things. You know, if we could sustain ourselves, you know, on our own. But the scriptures, what the curse is, that we shall be of all things to our enemy. So we got to integrate into the system to a point. Okay, we're not going to go to godly men. And remember, Yahweh Shai is our friend. So he's going to tell us what's going on. We got to have faith. Whether he's going to faithful unto death, give me that revelation. He's going to keep us from the hour of temptation. Right? Keep us, meaning guard us, secure, safe, I believe. Keep.
Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
Yeah, be thou faithful unto death. Yeah, I mean, any threat of harming family members and separation from family members, and you gotta do a transgression with the hope of Esau keeping his word. It's not worth it. We gotta be guarded by the spirits to keep us. So read that precept again.
Yep. This is the book of Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days.
First thing he said, fear none of those things. So we got to be in a mindset of not, having a stoic mindset, having to be indifferent, or not indifference, but acceptance, because we know there's going to be a punishment for you hurting people you care about. All right, what Yahweh Shah said, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. So if you hurt any of the Lord's elect, or anything that we care about, there's a penalty for that. All right. And if any man shall hurt them, is what Revelation 11. Fire proceeded out of their mouth. So if you hurt a family member, that's hurting our flesh. Mm-hmm. All right. So if a man joins to a woman, that's one flesh. If two women join to a man, it's one flesh. Still one flesh. All right. Yeah, it's sister wives. So if I have 3 wives, 4 wives, you hurt that's my flesh. All right. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. If I have children of them, or not children, or if I have children of them, they're my flesh. Mm-hmm. So if you hurt me, or you hurt anybody I love or care about, that's my flesh. All right. People's children get deleted all the time, and we're no different. So that's a good threat that's going to work on a lot of people. But Yahweh Shai said, going to keep us from the hour of temptation, to come upon all the world. Read that verse again.
Yep. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold,
we will suffer, not we might suffer. We are going to suffer certain things. Some of them may be loss of children, some will be loss of parents if they're still alive, or people that are under your protection, or brothers. Fear none of those things that thou shalt suffer. Go ahead.
Yep. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
Yeah, unto death. All right. We're not guaranteed to survive, but we are guaranteed to get that crown of life if we're of the elect. We're going to get that crown.
Yep. Right. Strive for it.
Let's try. Well, yes, strive to truth unto death.
Yep.
Next precept.
God says Revelation chapter 3 and 10, because God says Revelation chapter 3 and 10. It says, it's like you. It says, Revelation chapter 3 and 10.
Fear was first word.
God, you got it.
All right. Revelation 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world.
Keep us from the hour of temptation. All right. Keep us. Go ahead. Read it again. Good job.
Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
All right. And that's us. All right. The Israelites scattered. All Alright, stop raining.
Yeah, basically.
So Yahweh Shai is the mediator. He's a mediator between us and the Father. Give me 1 John 2. I think the first verse, I think. If any man sin, but let's start from the first verse. We have Yahweh Shai. And now if you take that implant, you can't, there's no forgiveness for that. All right? If you're an idolater, you can't, that's the end of the matter. That's the last thing. You know. So our flesh is under divine protection. And give me Revelation 11. Fire proceeding out of the mouth of the prophets. All right. And in Zechariah 5 also. The curse. So when we see those ships, that's a curse to the wicked. All right, let's push that.
Gone. It says 1 John chapter 2 and 1. It says, my little children, if these things write I unto you, that you sin not. And if any man sin, it says, we have an advocate with the Father, Yahushua Mashiach the righteous.
Yahushua Mashiach the righteous. Right?
And he is, it says, and he is a propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world.
Right. That's to the Jews and circumcision, and to the uncircumcised Israelites. All right. That's what that means. All right. World meaning a harmonious, orderly arrangement. All right. Because remember, the Christians believe in the hell, right? So it can't be talking about the whole world. That's impossible for the Lord to take away the sins of the world, literally. All right. So the world there is in reference to the Israelites that were promised a savior. All right. You don't take away the sins of the world. Okay. You take away the sins of the Israelites that are in the world. It's impossible for the Lord to take away the sins of every nation on the earth when he didn't die. That's not why he was manifest. All right, because remember, the Christians believe in hell. All right, so are there people in hell sins forgiven? No, right? So if the people that are going to go to hell, sins are not forgiven, they're going to burn for eternity. That means he didn't take the word world doesn't mean every person on the earth. Take away the sins of the world meaning take away the sins of all the Israelites. 100% of all Israelite sins will be wiped clean. It will be like they never even existed. All right, they're going to have no memory of the former. All right, of the sins. All right, so we still have memory of our sins. That's why we can't ever be made perfect, because we still have thought of sin. The mere thought of sin is transgression. All right, that makes us not perfect. That makes us fallible and weak. All right, so when we, the Lord erase our memory, all right, and give us a new bodies, we're not going to have no memory of sins. All right, we're going to be perfect. All right, although we will have the day when the Lord's body is revealed. You're going to see the Yahweh Shai basically scourged and crucified. But beyond that, I don't believe there's any other written document that says that we're going to remember our sins. Like it says in the book of the Hebrews about the high priest could go up and wash himself and he could sacrifice for himself and then sacrifice for the congregation, but it was still a remembrance of sin. So that's a transgression in itself, to have an evil thought, to have the knowledge of a sin. All right?
Yeah.
Committing a sin. Got more? Next precept.
Yep. I'll get this real quick. Jeremiah 31 and 34.
Yeah.
It says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord.
Right.
For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more.
Right, there we go. So the Lord don't remember, we ain't gonna remember.
Okay.
Right, so read it again.
Yep, Jeremiah 31 and 34. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord, For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more.
I mean, it's going to be intrinsic. It's going to be inside of us, okay? To keep the laws, all right, we're going to be perfect. We're going to know what to eat, what not to eat, how to carry ourselves, how to speak. All right. Our mind is going to be on a high, very high level, elevated, vibrating at a very high frequency. All right. Esau, Edom, the other nations, they're still going to be in a regular terrestrial body, mindset. And they're going to have, forgiveness of sins. They have to, pray to Yahweh Shai, worship the Father and the Son, but there's going to be no sacrifice for sins. But Esau, Edom is going to be on a low level until he's eradicated. And the other nations are going to be at an extremely low level. They're going to be in slavery. They're going to be the second-class citizens, the farmers, the workers, the handmaids. That's what the other nations, the level they're going to be on. They're going to be in a very low state. The life going to be hanging in hanging in the balance, according to what the judgment is of the Israelites, the new gods, or the original gods, all right, which are us, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and our people scattered. All right, we're going to come back into our right mind. All right, next precept.
This is Revelation 11:3. It says, "And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the power of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies."
Yeah, that's the curse in Zechariah 5. All right, that's the curse. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 5, it says, "And if any man will hurt them, a fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed."
Yeah, that's the judgment. All right, so you hurt one of the elect, you make the threat against the elect. All right, then the judgment's going to come. When the chariots come, they're going to be for our security. We're going to get the Ezra's also. Let's get that account. And the crowns on the heads also, like that. So the Zechariah 5 first. So we believe we're under divine protection. And this ICE thing, it's a catalyst. It's a catalyst. All right. Yeah, we do believe, you're doing it to them. Eventually it's going to spread. All right, it might be a die down period, but we'll see. We got 4 years to figure it out, or 3 years now, I guess, to see if it's going to increase and decrease. Because Esau typically does. He like ebbs and flows on the demonic shit he does. All right, so they're enforcing the law. All right, and soon they're going to enforce the law on so-called law-abiding citizens when they implement that chip. All right. But before the chip, there's going to be a workup to the implantable microchip, which is the market of the beast. There's going to be a workup to it. All right. The workup, there'll be a lot of testing there. So Esau, Edom, he has the belief, or the instruction, I should say, to bring in a new system. All right, and that new system is going to be a paperless, a cashless identification and money exchanging goods and services. Medium for the exchange is going to be electronic. All right, so goods and services are going to be electronic. So the money, don't get rid of money orders, checks, all that. They don't get rid of it. Or it'll be a combination of several things. But the center is going to be electronic. All right. So the biometrics is what that means. Life, measuring life, measure. Bio means life, and metrics means like to measure something. So everybody has a specific measurement. All right, that's what makes you unique. You have a specific life measurement or body measurement. You have a specific measurement. So they're going to take your measurements that's unique to you, and they put that in a microchip, and put your measurements in a database. And the database is going to be accessed when you come in contact with your unique number, and you'll be able to pull up your measurements in the system, whatever system you're interfacing with. All right. And this is supposed to be more secure. The state power controlling everything. All right. No errors apparently. Doesn't crash. Doesn't lose power. This is what I'm hearing. They doing the data centers are increasing. Is that a fact? Data centers. They're building more data. They're gonna need more power. You're gonna need more microchips. You're gonna need more copper and silver and gold and all that shit. And plastics, robotics. So you might want to get to robotics, all right, before they start putting the chip in your ass. Yeah. But yeah, because they're gonna get rid of all. It depends on. Give me a description on when he's about to fill his belly. So we don't know how far the Lord will allow Esau to get, or what the exact plan is. The Lord could shorten it up, or he could drag it out. When Esau fully establishes electric cars, full robotics in all warehouses, that could take some years, but it's on the lowest timetable. Getting rid of like every UPS worker, and just because you don't need the damn load people. All you need is what? Measurements of the container and a robot. So long as you have the measurements of a container and robots, you can unload and load stuff. But you're still gonna need like to put on shelf. Well, if you technically, you can get a robot to put stuff on shelves too. So long as it's measured or measured, that's what I'll say, measured properly. You can get a robot in a damn aisle, putting it in exactly where it needs to be. But everything has to be, you gotta upgrade your facilities for that. That's gonna cost like millions of dollars. So, but definitely in the warehouses, they can get rid of 90% of people and have people just working on the machines to keep the machines running. You know? Like management, you don't need no fucking management. You can buy it for customer service maybe. But now they got AI agents now.
Oh yeah.
AI agent. Well, see, now it's going to be less passionate, but they can program passion into the damn fucking machine. It's going to be like this. Going to be just yeah. You can program that in. But again, we don't know how far the Lord will allow Esau to go. What the plan is. That's why we got to be prisoners of hope. So we don't know if it's going to be in 6 months or it's going to be in 6 years. We don't know whether he's going to establish his full automation or he's going to cut it when he's like 20% in automation or 10% in automation. All right. You bring a precept out?
It's the book of Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Read it again.
Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Yeah, again, we're prisoners of hope. And we are, where he shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Yes, so the things I've mentioned, this is what Esau eventually wants to get to make it more efficient for companies to run their businesses. But again, they got to invest millions of dollars to have it fully automated. So you take, I think we did this before, right? You take the wage of a slave worker, that's what we used to call them at UPS. But I'm just using UPS as an example. A wage of a slave, unloader, or loader, or sorter. The sorters definitely they can get rid of them motherfuckers now. Once the box go on a conveyor belt, they have a machine going left, right, up, down to whatever area code. This is a shipping example. You don't need this. They used to have the sorters, they got the area code memorized, and they go, this goes to that shelf, or is it listed? So they take this box, they go to 19141, this go to 19120, this go to 19118, 19832, you know? But the machine, the own person need to fucking do that. Now, how much are they paying that man? Health insurance, he get hurt, he get thirsty, he gotta go to the bathroom, he go to the bathroom, be on the phone and shit, go to the break room and grab something to eat, overpriced ass food in the damn break. So how much, that's an equation that they can put into a fucking robot. They don't complain enough. It's just repetitive tasks until you got a air conditioning system. Well, I guess you can get an HVAC, right? You can get an HVAC, commercial, robotics, you know. But again, we don't know how long, that could take. Like every company doing that could take 10 years. You know, for,
Hell yeah. Well, a lot of these companies, they have like, what's crazy about the warehousing, like the brother's talking about, is like that makes up a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs are made up in the warehousing because that's the whole like the supply chain of how you get supplies to your doorstep, how you get supplies to the warehouse or to the stores, right? So you can even buy this stuff, right? It all comes from warehouse, from shipments, right? From the shipyard to the warehouse, and from the warehouse it then gets to the trucks, and trucks then deliver it to wherever maybe need to go or whatever, right? And that makes up a lot of jobs. So if you start to automatize that, you got a lot of people losing their jobs.
right.
You know?
They have to pivot their careers.
Yep.
I mean, or go on what they call the universal basic income shit.
Yep.
Talking about. So I can't see automated cars. I can't see that. I don't believe that they can. I think the Lord will come back before they get like
Fully integrated.
everybody. I can't see the electric. I can see the warehouse partially, like warehouse settings, and even like customer service, like stocking shelves and all. I can partially see that, but I cannot see automated cars 100%.
Well, these warehouses have a thing, like a lot of them do. I know one company specifically has a thing, and they call it the Matrix. And it is like fully automated, just robots just picking orders and stuff like that, and then shipping the orders out and stuff like this. It's one little section. It's crazy because like it's just dark with like lights going off and stuff like that. I remember seeing it for the first time. I was like, what the fuck? And so that's the Matrix, is where that's what they called it or whatever like that. And that was all fully autonomous. No person worked over there. Just fucking orders coming in and out.
Yeah. You gotta
All you gotta do is start with certain items, right? Certain on-demand items. You start there, You start with a certain system there. They already show you, like, they already have like autonomous, pallet jack things, like, just get the pallets, move them where they need to go and stuff like that.
Look up an example of a fully automated warehouse. Look up an example. So when he's about to fill his belly, so I can't see fully automated, like they want to get everybody off internal combustion engines and full electric to control where they're going. I can't see that. That would take a very long time, first of all, but it would have to be an aggressive, really aggressive shift in laws, policies, and the economy.
Yep.
For like that to happen. So again, it's not impossible. I'm not saying it ain't possible. So one day to get up and say, oh, but we're banning gasoline cars.
Right.
There is a ban, like 2030 or 2035, something like that, in California. But again, that's still like, it's not concrete, And then when other states adopt it, we don't know. So put us on a grid. The grid, and the grid is control.
You go to shopping centers, like Giant has them, right? The little freaking cleaning thing. I don't know what they call it, but
BJ's got that too.
Is that what that's?
BJ's.
Yeah. They got a security droid too.
Okay, all right.
Giant. That goes around with a camera system. They got them in hospitals too.
Yep.
I was delivered to this one hospital in Christiana Hospital over there, Newark. They have this damn droid that walks around with a advanced camera system on it, and takes the elevator and everything. I guess goes around, checks for theft. I guess security checks for theft, and I guess identify people, take the records of their faces and uniforms, and so if something happened, they have like records of this droid going throughout the whole building. More information besides the static cameras that can physically like go through the building. I call it a security droid. This is like Star reference, Star Wars reference. Security droid going around, like an extra layer of security. Instead of a security guard walking around, like, okay, I saw this, say, African American, blue jacket, boots, pushing a cart at 1:55 a.m. on Tuesday. 1:55 p.m. on a Tuesday. So then the bomb goes off, and then they go back to the records, And they have like static cameras pushing it up too.
If I just got to add to Brother's point, like a lot of like these robotics and the fully automated warehouse and stuff, it's not necessarily to replace all humans, but it's definitely to make things more efficient and make it to where you need less humans to do the job, right? You know what I mean? Instead of doing a team lift with 4 people, you just use a robot and then do this stuff, right? So we had like in one of the warehouse, we had this like suction cup thing to suction cup some of the heavier stuff and put it in the boxes, and that way it really didn't rely too much on the strain of just employees, right? So you had this suction cup thing would pick it up, drop it in the box. You would tape up the box, whatever, and it was supposed to be more efficient. So you're working hand in hand with robots, which like in turn, you can then do more with less. And that's what it's all about. Using robots to do more with less.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, if Esau never get to the automated stage, he doesn't necessarily have to.
Right. Yeah.
He don't have to. Because the prophecy is that when we see the signs of the different wars and the microchip.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I got a precept.
So go ahead.
It's Psalms 10:1. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined."
Yeah, let them be taken.
Yep. And that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be taken in the devices that they have imagined. We know
one of the devices is nuclear weapons.
Yep. There you go.
Surveillance system.
Yep.
They're going to be turned against them. All right.
Who created the coals that burn in a furnace? The weapon.
Yep. And after they create them, they got a penalty for creating them.
Exactly.
And using them.
Yep.
Against the Lord's elect, or against the earth.
Yep.
Against nature.
Yep.
Esau gonna pay for it.
Yeah, all this technology that they're using as a device, as a scheme, is a plot to further control the masses of the people, as they're literally going to be taken in that same technology that they're using to try to control.
Yeah. So like I said before, Esau.
It's like that's what they're trying to do, like transhumanism, right? That's why they're trying to combine man and machine. Right. That's a real push that Esau really trying to push for. Right. To play more like God. And he only need to get but so far with that transhumanism shit.
Right. Yeah. Esau normally does, from the record. Hindsight it is 2020. So and we are not naive. Things can just drastically change very quickly. Also, Esau normally he rolls something out, experiments on it, and waits a little while, and then he puts it in place.
Was that? No, that you have a short time to bring that out. Yeah. Because so like the brother's saying, like we know that historically he likes to implement things very slowly, and but now that he knows that he's got a short time, things will really speed up. Like the scriptures even talk about.
Well, we're not ignorant of the time of his coming. What Thessalonians? Something about or in John says, as of the day of the Lord, you need not that I write unto you.
Yep.
All right. So we know. So no matter what happens, whether it's a year or 3 years or 6 months and 3 years, we're not complacent. We know that it's going to go down.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to go down eventually. All right. And our job is
watch.
We hasten the day, but our job is not. We're not making the Lord come back.
Nope.
That's not that's not even possible. If the Lord wants him to establish, robotics, automation in warehouses and customer service,
flying cars, and
that's way crazy. If he want to do the
hoverboards,
if he want to do the automation, then he do automation. He want to cut it, get him 20% into the automation thing. Or 20% into the, or 10% or 5% into the controlling all the cars and shit. But it's up to the Lord. But we know Esau's kingdom that he's trying to bring in is control. This is why we bring up. This is why I'm bringing up these things about automation. It's control. All right, and the universal basic income. So again.
Which you see these post sci-fi type films. These films where people what's some good ones? The one with Matt Damon. Elysium, right? Where they show you that really the people that really benefit from the technology is the elites, and then the poor people are just with the dreads of the the technology, and they're really fucking barely surviving and stuff, But like it goes to show you that really like Esau's mind is to really catapult this technology for the elite's sake, and then Jake is just kind of by the wayside. Where humanity's kept at a very small number, and he's got control over everything.
The elite's sake,
Making
the warehouse more efficient is for the elite's sake. They're gonna lower the prices because they got new robots. They normally increase prices when they implement new technology.
Exactly. Yeah, it's more money. It's more on their bottom dollar.
They're not gonna be making money immediately. Once they replace 5 people with 1 robot, let's use that number. That's gonna cost some money. It's gonna cost them like $100,000 or some shit. And they're paying a guy less than $100,000 anyway, so they're gonna be taking a loss, but to eventually make more money later, if my math is correct. All right. You want to bring something out? You know?
Yeah, I got a precept. I got Revelation 12. I can bring it up real quick. Therefore, ye heavens, this is Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Yeah, God.
It's coming down, man.
Yeah, so Esau, he's going to increase his things. You know, in his short time could be 6 months, could be a couple of years. We don't know, but we know that every stage that Esau brings out, every phase, it's a new phase. Like this thing with the ice and the Bitcoin. That started 20 years ago. Right? Look up how old is Bitcoin or digital currencies. How old is? Let's say Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin's one of the majority ones.
Let's say Bitcoin. That was a 20-year damn plan, and it's just really getting the last couple of years. Now everybody is fucking expert now, but when it wasn't popular, it was no. Well, I guess YouTube and all that helped out too, but yeah, that's a 20-year plan. Now, I don't think we're gonna be here for another 20 years, but that's just an example of it'll bring an idea will pop up, and then Esau experiment and take advantage of the technology at an appropriate time.
Bitcoin was the first established cryptocurrency.
What year?
It was an open source software in 2009. That's when cryptocurrency was first released as an open source software.
16 years or something like that? Or?
Which is crazy because I think when it was, the crypto, let's see, I'm trying to see when it first came out because like, there's always like that, had you invested back in 2010, $1,000, how much more you'd have. I think you'd be like a millionaire by a long shot if you would have just put 1,000 into crypto, into Bitcoin specifically. So now, as of 2023, there's over 25,000 cryptocurrencies in the marketplace.
So it's a cryptocurrency. Then that's it's a precursor to a digital currency, central bank digital currency, which is a digital currency controlled by the organization or company that's has been given the task of printing your government's currency, your whatever system you have set up in your country. In America, we have the Federal Reserve System.
And if you want to go back to the laying of the tracks of Bitcoin, they're saying the history goes back to 1983, where an American cytographer, David Calm, conceived of a type of cytographic electric money called e-cash. It says later in 1995, he implemented it through DigiCash, an early form of cryptographic electronic payments.
1983.
Yeah, so it seems like the history goes from 1983. That was the stepping stones to what became Bitcoin.
43-year plan. So we know Esau playing stuff out. So the thing is, Scripture said we see through a glass darkly. So we can see kind of what sphere they're on, but it always could be something else.
Yep.
So 1983, and probably before that, but let's say 1983,
right, exactly,
like a 40-something plan. So what part of the planet are they on now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep.
We kind of know, but we don't have all
right, and that's the thing is like you don't really know the plan of Bitcoin until you see Bitcoin, what it is and what it blows up, and then you go back and then you see the history like, oh, they implemented this shit, they planted this seed forever ago. It's like it is like planting a seed. The way Esau does his deeds and all that, he plants a seed and it's like next thing you know, it's like damn, you see a tree and next thing you know it starts having fruit on it. Like you didn't know it was apple tree until the fruit's formed, and it's like this at this point now it's there. It's here.
Why is this law in the books?
Yep.
Oh, now we know why this law was 20 years ago.
Exactly. Yep.
So it's coming to fruition right now.
Yep.
So a lot of fruits and eggs are hatching right now that were planted, 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 43 years ago.
Yep.
So when we're at the last time, we believe we are at the end. It's just the exact date we don't know. It's not for us to know anyway. Yep. Our job is to, as we get the prophecies, bring them out.
Yep. Which that's how the devil does, man. Like you see when he attacks it, it's quick, And it says like, right? Doesn't that say? He says that when the morning is light, he practices it. He thinks about it continually. How we can do wickedness and how we can do these devices and stuff like that. He continually thinks about it.
Get those two precepts. Who works in the dark.
Yep.
And we're not ignorant of Satan's devices.
Yes. There you go. I can read that again. That's Psalm 10 too. I can read it again. Yeah. That's what I was just saying. This is Psalms 10 and 2. Salaki.
Yeah, Esau, man, we can see you, okay? The important thing is that, we're prisoners of hope. That's the grand prison. That's it.
Yep. Prisoners hope. Yeah, he got it. Yep. And Psalm 10:2 says, "The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the device that they've imagined. For the wicked boast of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth." Damn, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. So while he's thinking about all this evil stuff, he's not thinking about the Most High. He's not thinking about the punishment or the recompense that's going to befall him. He's not thinking about how this will affect him for all the evil that he's doing amongst Jake and to Jake. All he cares about is the end goal, the control, the manipulation, the where he's gonna be at, where he thinks he'll be at on the throne of glory. That's what he thinks. He thinks he's what he says, that he sitteth upon high, thinking himself to be God.
Khan. So it says, Isaiah chapter 29:15. It says, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide the counsel from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, Who seeth us, and who knoweth us?"
Damn.
Who seeth us, who knoweth us. All right, that's the how the Illuminati did
the fucking
they work.
Like the Epstein files that they don't want to fucking release. Like all that wickedness that they be doing from high up. They think they can get away with this kind of wickedness, and that's like low level. All that stuff is low level.
That's he just put that in the news so we can be focused.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You think or like the whole fucking Diddy shit that was going on. That's all low level wickedness. That's we all already know that they all freaks and doing all that stuff.
If they freaks, why it's a crime to be a freak now? They all willing participants.
Of
being freaks. Now it's a crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We talking about actual, human sacrifice type stuff that they do. The things that they do to, their so-called gods, Molech, Baphomet, the actual true worshiping of Satan.
Yeah, changing the laws. We originally had, a gold standard, and then
exactly.
A trust standard now.
Yeah, from an actual, what's that? What was it before? It was Federal Reserve note. What it actually was, a certificate.
It was reserved with actual gold.
Yes. It was an actual a 1-for-1 replacement. The one gold for the $1, and you would go back and replace it. Now they try to say it's the same. It's not. Now you're buying gold. You're buying gold with the currency of the Federal Reserve. No, before it was a 1-for-1.
You're giving gold for trust.
Yes.
This has power to do something. You're giving real money for trust.
Yep.
Or for fictitious money. It's still money though, but and that's the mind game Esau implemented. He just created money.
Yeah, that's all. Exactly. He already had seen the end term of, if I take away gold and I make this note be worth something, and then I can then let people borrow on this, and I can try to charge interest on this. Look how much powerful and wealthy we can become. This is what this is how elites really thought. And they go into that, like the first banking system, like they just started lending out money, but like it didn't matter because no one would come back to the banks to request all their gold at once. But they knew that they lent out more than they even actually physically had, and then they charge interest on it. So they seen from that part, like we can make a lot of money off of this. We can become wealthy. That's why who's the one that said, I care not who make the laws, just give me.
One of the Rothschilds.
Yeah, one of the Rothschilds, right? So like they see where the control and power, or the power that is in money. Is it?
Evelyn,
it might have been Evelyn D. Rothschild.
Mayor M. Shell Rothschild.
Do you have the quote?
Yep, Khan. So it says, the phrase often misattributed to Mayor M. Shell Rothschild is "permit me to issue the control." It says, "Permit me to issue and control the money of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws."
Yep.
So did he say or he didn't say?
Yeah, because the way because it's saying, like, when you first read that, it's basically saying that it was misinterpreted to him.
So who said it?
It says, so origin, the quote is falsely attributed to Mayor M. Shell Rothschild.
We know that part. Who said it?
It says, Liz Truss used a quote. Well, it's not being direct.
Not being direct. Okay. All right. Well, the quote was said.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. Exactly. Right. And whether or not the Rothschild said it or not, it obviously is attains to him.
Yeah.
You know, even if he didn't say it, he fucking sure as hell thought it. You know.
Yeah.
Because why would he do all the thing? Why would these Rothschilds and the elite banking families do that thing if they didn't realize the importance and the amount of control that they can get with it?
Okay, it says, the original version, it says, "Let me make the songs of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws." This version is attributed to Andrew Fletcher, an 18th century Scottish writer and politician. So I guess people are saying, well, I guess it's popular to say that Mayor M. Rothschild said it, but it says, well, there's no primary source proving he said it. The quote has been used to describe the immense power that controlling will.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, based upon his actions.
Right.
So they're inferring that's what he meant by his actions. So, hey, he got a lot to pay for.
Yeah,
All right, let's bring his last precepts out.
Yeah,
Let's wrap up.
I got some. It says Psalm chapter 2:1. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Yeah, there you have it. You know, Esau's and of course, as well as these other nations, you know, they're raging, and ultimately the final thing that Esau wants is to achieve his NWO, which, you know, that right there is a vain thing, because, you know, just like before of course, you know, the Tower of Babel, you know, guess what? Of course, once Yahushua comes back, he's gonna throw that down too. Of course, the NWO.
Yeah.
Revelation 11. Yeah.
Read that.
Brother's Holy Prisoner of Hope. But there was a precept you called out when I read Psalms 10 and 2, and I forget
Satan
what it was.
devices.
Was that?
Devices.
Oh yeah. Con. That's what I specifically wanted to get that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, kind of, that's it.
Yeah, so, you know, Esau, read again what you just read.
Gone. It says, Psalm chapter 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Kings of the earth, yeah. That's talking about Israelites too. But Kings of the earth, read the whole thing.
Gone. It says Psalm chapter 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
The heathen, the people, what?
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. It says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure.
We was also talking about Yahushua and the disciples also. All right, so in the rulers of the Pharisees and the Pontius Pilate and the Roman government. But Esau, his system can't last. This is an experiment that's going to come to an end, and we're going to continue to prophesy that Babylon America is going to come to an end. But how bad or well you think we're doing?
Did you already get bounds you cannot pass?
Yeah.
We got that right.
You can read again.
I mean, I got you when we get. So Joel 14:5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast pointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
We may have better different than Joel.
It was the fill his belly.
So it's belly. Okay, so that was different.
Okay.
Yes, pointing them bounds they should not pass. Yeah. So look, whatever technology he'll reach. I mean, he'll reach. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's no automation or 10% or 2% or 50%. All right, we're still going to prophesy as the events come to pass. All right, we're on the Lord's timetable. All right, next precept.
2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
We're not ignorant of his devices. Now read it 2 verses up.
Start at here. Verse 9 says, for to this end also did I write, that I might know the proof of you, whether you be obedient in all things. To whom ye forgive anything, I forgive also. For if I forgave anything, to whom I forgave it, for your sakes forgave I it in the person of Hamashiach. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Yeah, well, that's compassion, mercy, on brothers. So you know how Esau Edom, he has the power of illusion and accusation. The scriptures say that he will accuse us before the Father day and night. so they could, bring up different technologies and different doctrines to pollute, brothers' minds on thinking a certain way about a brother or a teaching. All right. So we're not ignorant of Esau. That's one of his devices, deception. All right. Hatred. So we know how Esau has many devices. It's not just one. He has many devices to try to divide us, and with religion and doctrine. All right. So we know that Esau Edom is a master deceiver, a mistress of witchcraft. It tells you that. What, Nahum? Well, good.
What is it on
That
that?
was it.
Wait.
All right, next precept.
It's the book of Zechariah 9 and 12. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man.
Yeah, that's one of Esau's devices, dividing the tribes. All right? Dividing the tribes. We're not ignorant of his devices, so we forgive. We forgive. Thing in front.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
fell.
the handle
The handle, yeah.
So that's a major technique that Esau does to divide the tribes, to keep the tribes ignorant and to believe that we're a different race, we're different culture.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So that's one of his main devices, man. Read those two verses again. Read the verses again.
God.
Yeah, he'll have you fighting over fucking colors and shit, like Bloods and Crips and stuff like that. Like Esau, master manipulator.
Yep.
Have you fighting your brother and y'all the same, fight, the Spanish brothers fighting over each other like they ain't brothers.
Zechariah 9 and 12. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man.
And by this time, when Zechariah, right?
God, yep.
The reference is to the Edomites that took over Greece. All right. But during this time, the Japhet was still ruling Greece. Japhet, and you had Israelites mingled amongst Japhet. All right. Or Yawan. So this is a future prophecy when the Macedonian Edomites took over Greece and did their genetic genocide by murdering and deporting, taking over those offices of the Greeks, and installing their people in their different courthouses and government. All right. Is that it?
That was it,
That was
yeah.
it. All right. What do you got?
Gun. So it says Hosea chapter 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I also will reject thee, that thou shouldn't be no more a priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I also will. It says, I will also forget thy children.
Right. So that's the curse that we're under. So we have to come back to the Father through Yahushua, through the Messiah, to get the knowledge of how to escape the damnation, how to escape the hellfire. That's going to burn Babylon, America up. And when Yahushua make a second coming to being in the Lord's good graces, to receive that crown. All right. So that lack of knowledge is the thing that separated us from the Father. That's why Yahushua was manifest to bring us back to the Father. There's more.
Yeah, I got another one. It says Proverbs chapter 19 and 2. Also that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good. It says, and he that hasteth with his feet sinneth.
Yeah, without knowledge that's a sin. You gotta have knowledge. The law says seek the Lord's face. We gotta seek the Most High Yahweh and His Son's face, Yahushua. So meaning his mannerism, his manner. Who is he? His prophecy. His order, his law and order. We have to seek it. And we can do the best we can in these bodies of death. These chains of darkness. The best we can in these bodies. All right. More?
Yeah, come on. That's it.
That's it. Read it.
Yeah, I got one more here. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. I'm reading the KJV and the NLT. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 says, "There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may also be able to bear it." And we're kind of going into like the Esau's devices and his schemes. We know that we went to the hour of temptation, being that micro C hip and all that, being that final temptation of your integrity, and that the ultimate sin, right? Being that the mark of the beast, right? The Lord that's a temptation that's going to befall the whole world, all right? But there's the elect men that are not going to befall that temptation, all right? And there's no temptation that not a specific man has been tempted with only or solely. All right, so this is NLT. The NLT that says the temptation in your life are no different from what others experience, and the Most High is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out so you can endure. So there you go. As long as you believe and trust in Yahweh Shem Shai, with those temptations arise, being that main temptation, being that micro C hip, the Lord is going to give you a way out of it, whether it be even being faced with death. You know. So that's all I got in that.
All right. Yeah. Any the facts on the automation? Just go look that up. But the we're moving into a different phase. There's multiple things at work at one time, not just one thing. The technology, the laws, the financial system. It's going to move to more of a controlled state where the corporations and the government give you less room to do what you want, and there's going to be less jobs in that field. So I can see that being a crisis if this automation thing take over. That's going to be a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't work on the machines. Everybody can't be a damn programmer.
Yep.
So there's going to be some type of UBI. It has to be. The economy is not going to be able to hold all these people. Maybe that's why they did the biological thing to reduce the population.
Yep, exactly.
They might do it again.
Then, like the brother's saying, like that's really going to help depopulize things, because there's only going to be a certain benefit to people that are rich and that already have money, because anybody who's using them jobs to survive, they're then going to fall by the wasteland trying to find jobs. They're going to be poor. They're going to be destitute. They're going to eventually just die. Right. They're going to become no more.
Right. Unless they do the universal basic income, and everybody just gets a check.
Oh, yeah.
So
right.
They keep you in a house or in your neighborhood, with minimum resources, but you're not going to die. And then eventually, you got to take the implant.
Yeah, there you go.
So we'll see. Drastic things. We're living in exciting times. Overnight, 7 major U.S. companies could just switch to this new technology and just automatically use this software, and then there's a mass exodus of employees, and then where they're going to work. So it could happen. So we got to brace for whatever comes.
If I could add real quick to your point, like a good example is like the credit cards that have NFC in them and chips in them. I mean, you barely can't even use it. You can't even use a barcode reader if you go to this place and use a barcode on your credit card, they immediately tell you can't do it. You have to use a chip, and then it's like after it fails, then you can finally swipe your card. But like that they laid the foundation for that NFC and the chip being integrated with your credit cards, that like it came to a point where it's like there's not one card out there that does not have either the microchip that microchip in there or the NFC chip in it. It has one of the two, or it usually has both. A lot of credit cards, they won't have the NFC on it where you can just like the tap and pay, but they will have the insertable chip. Yeah. And that was, they made it to where it's mandatory to have that. Like I remember that I had a card, this is already probably like 5 years ago now, that I had a card that didn't have it, and then they sent me one talking about, there was an issue, we had to send you this. It's like I was like trying to hold off on even getting that type of credit card, but then they just
behind the baggage
trip.
Trip.
Yeah. And then they all of a sudden they said it was some, you could tell it was some bullshit that they were just
moving into compliance. That's
yeah.
And make sure they have the right
the chip
cards out.
Exactly. Yep. But all it could take is this one little thing, like the brother said, and they already have the tech. And then all those
kind of think of it like the draft.
Readers.
You gotta register. Everybody had to register.
Oh yeah.
For the draft for war. An event happened. then you had to, if you were within a certain parameters, you had to sign up. So it was a continuous thing for years. You had to keep signing up. So whatever law they pass or policy, you know, eventually everybody going to get on board.
Yep.
And if it's a microchip, you know, you're not supposed to take it.
Yeah, exactly.
In your body, you're not supposed to take it no matter what's going on.
Yep.
You don't take the implant microchip.
There it is.
But just, I interrupted you.
No, that was it. That was it. Yeah, basically that was it.
Anything else? Yeah.
I got some real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So I said, what's the percentage of automation in the world? In short, it says there's no definitive figure for a percentage of the world automated, since automation spans robots, software, process automation, etc. But here are useful benchmarks. It says global robot.
Mainly robots. Yeah, robots. Yeah.
It says global robot density in manufacturing reached. It says 162 robots per 10,000 employees in 2023. More than double what it was 7 years prior.
Damn.
What date did they reference?
2023 study.
2023. Yeah, more than double. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
7 years. It doubled from only a mere 7 years. So imagine another 3 years, another 5 years.
It says 53.
They can get an investment and increases the frequency.
Hey, yep.
Yeah.
Shoot, remember they were like teasing those robot dogs? I mean, you would probably take that, 15 years ago they were teasing those robots, and now look at them.
But the dogs?
Yeah. They teased that a while. I remember they first teased that a
There's a lot
while
of
back.
fake videos that people thought were real. It was AI. But that was going around. There's a lot of AI videos. So like that Boston Dynamics shit.
Oh, yeah,
That was
Boston.
AI, but people thought that was real though. That shit was all fake. The gun, the shooting and all that shit, that's all AI. People thought that shit was
got
real.
them AI
That
videos.
shit was not real.
Yeah.
All right, it was AI. All right, and that was years ago. And that video kept going around. That was all AI. Now they had the technology they can move around. But you can kick them and they can get up, kick them, get up. But those videos, that was real. They would kick them and they would
Yeah, the
get up
Boston.
and bounce and all
That was a Boston
but
Dynamics.
the guns and the shoot, that was all AI. People were thinking that shit was real. That's what they want to get to. They want to get to that point. You know, when that response times and how fluid it was and all that was all AI. But that's in the imagination. That's in Esau's imagination. And how they had so many people fooled. Hey. And that was back then when AI really wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
But that's when it was like kind of just starting probably. But yeah, that's before the whole AI thing was getting really big. You know, but the original Boston Dynamics video with the guns, shooting the guns and all that shit. If there was even actually Boston Dynamics, I don't know. But that was interesting. But that's what they want to get. They want to get to that point when they patrolling neighborhoods. We're here to keep you safe and all that shit. Terminator 1, Terminator 2. Security droids at every corner.
Yeah, see,
You're selling drugs.
That's back in 2010. Remember that?
2010.
2010.
Oh, yeah.
I specifically remember this. I'll show you.
And that was real.
Yeah, Boston Dynamics back in
real.
2010.
Yeah.
All right, and you can look at what Boston Dynamics is doing nowadays with the robots and stuff. I think they've showed basically a exoskeleton of a basically human is doing backflips and stuff like that. And it's actually Boston Dynamics. You know, shows him kicking the balls and stuff like that. I don't know if you still see
He's
it.
looking at us. That's why. He's looking at. We got out of the car. He looked at us.
You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there he's kicking the dog.
Yeah.
You know, back in 2010, and this is, this is bulky. A lot of things going on. A lot of like, a lot of stuff. A lot of, like I said, like there's a lot of. It's just bulky. It's not as fluid area to slip on the ice or like that. Now you look at it, it's a lot more slimmer in design. The electronics in it and all that. The chips in it are a lot smaller, so it's a little bit more compact, more practical. But yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
That was what, 2010.
So, about 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
15 years. Yeah.
Crazy. As long as we've been out here.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and that was a big thing back then. It's about the security droids and the Black Mirror episode came out.
Yep. There you go. Yep,
Robot
yep,
dog
yep,
and everything. Then they started standing upright. Then they had Japanese had their prototype and all that stuff, and then the United States had their prototypes, and they had some European prototypes, and then Tesla came out with theirs. So it was increasing. So the plan been laid down for 20, 30 years,
Yep, exactly.
40 years, 50 years, and now a lot of the plans are coming to fruition in 2020, 2025. So
Yep.
we still here, but eventually we're not going to be here.
Exactly. There
So
you go. There it is.
we got to just Continue to preach. All right, you want to finish that off or you done?
So it says 53% of businesses globally have implemented robotic process automation or RPA in some workflow.
Yeah, the big thing is, the manual labor, that's going to be the thing that's going to be a mass exodus of jobs, the destruction of jobs. But you don't need nobody to unload and load trucks anymore. Once you get that, that's going to lay off a lot of people. So they got to go, I guess, other labor jobs somewhere else or pivot their careers. Then they're going to implement that chip. So, all right, we'll leave it there. I hope you're edified. Shalom.
Shalom.